Hey guys, hope you are well today. It's been a hot minute since I've been back on the channel, and we've got some crazy housing news to talk about, some specific articles that have come out within the last week. And it seems to be we've got weird information on the existing home side, and we've got conflicting information on the new construction side. So today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about one of the nation's largest home builders taking crazy price reductions, and wait till I show you what those look like. And then we're going to dive into some real estate stats here, right here in the Charlotte area. So guys, I appreciate you tuning in. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Brian Taylor. I'm the owner of Dreamline Realty right here in Charlotte. So guys, let's kick this off with an article that came out here last week around existing home sales. So look at this one. This will blow your mind. Home sales are headed for their worst year since 1995 as economic jitters spread from borrowers to sellers. That's an article here from Redfin. The lowest amount of home sales, guys, again, since 1995. That is wild, right? So let's go over here and take a look at some more information. This one here is talking about housing supply drops the most in 2 years as sluggish demand spooks sellers. So it says active listings of homes for sale fell 1.4% month over month in August. That's the largest seasonally adjusted decline since 2023. So what we're talking about here, guys, is active listings month over month have fallen 1.4%. So we went through a period over the last several months where we had more inventory hitting the market. That is starting to pull back. And it says sellers have started pulling back because home buyer demand is sluggish while sales are still far below pre-pandemic levels. Following on to the end of this article, just one more thing to point out to you. It says that the median home prices rose 1.7% year over year in August to $440,000 on a national level. I'll tell you about Charlotte specifically in a minute, but that's the biggest uptick since March and the highest level ever recorded. So while sellers have been retreating, they still outnumber buyers by 35.2%, and that's the second largest margin on record. So there's way more sellers than there are borrowers, which is why we're starting to see a lot of houses sit on the market. And surprisingly enough, it says supply is building in part because a lot of homes are lingering on the market. The typical home that went under contract last month did so in 47 days, marking the slowest August since 2016. The typical home also sold for 1.2 less than its final asking price, the steepest August discount since 2019. So let's shift gears over here, and I'll tell you about this struggle that we're seeing with existing home sales and new home sales. I kind of call BS on the new home sales side, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. But here is an article. Existing home sales stall in August amid higher mortgage rates. So we're talking about existing home sales coming to a screeching halt, the lowest since 1995, right? But then on the flip side, the day before this article came out, this one hit the wire. It says new home sales soar 20% in August to a 3-year high. Okay, so what is going on here? Well, as you know, in the new construction scene, a lot of builders right now are giving huge discounts on properties to try to get this inventory sold. They're offering ridiculously low interest rates. They're offering crazy closing cost incentives. But for this number to go up 20%, and this is actually month over month, this isn't year over year, it's month over month. To me, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it is what they're saying. So one particular builder that I want to point out, because they're mentioned right here in this article right now, is America's second largest home builder sees house prices crash. Now this is really interesting. So we're talking right now about Lennar Homes. So over the last several years, they have accepted significant price cuts in recent years in order to keep selling homes in a generally softening U.S. housing market. And it says, as buyers retreated to the sidelines of the market among sky-high prices and elevated mortgage rates in recent months, Lennar has slashed prices and are offering all types of incentives to close a deal to the point where its prices are now 22% below their post-pandemic peak. However, last week, the company signaled that it is ready to abandon this strategy and prioritize profits instead, a shift that will likely negatively impact the average home buyer who benefited from the recent inventory glut across the country. So in a nutshell, what this builder in this article is saying is over the last 3 years, Lennar has basically had to cut their home prices in order to show more home sales. So they're more focused on home sales than they were on profits. But what's going to happen now is they are going to change that strategy, which means they are going to focus more on their profit margin, which means for buyers, they are likely going to be raising their home prices in exchange for lower home sales. So I did some digging and I said, okay, let me go and find out what properties have sold and what the price reductions were when you look at Lennar specifically. So that's what we're going to take a look at now. So I'll take you back over here and show you that in the MLS over the last, I think it was 90 days, maybe 100 days, I looked at this. I don't remember what that stat was. But you can see right here, there were a total of 71 home sales. 46 of the 71 took price reductions. So that's 65% of those properties that took price reductions. So what I wanted to look at is I wanted to say, okay, what was the original list price? And what did that property sell for? And what was the actual price reduction on these houses? And here's what I'm going to show you. So for example, now this is all across the Charlotte region. It's not specific to one town or one city. But this one here in Lancaster, South Carolina was listed for $570,000 right here. And it sold for $474,999. That's a difference and a price drop of $95,000 on that house. So if you track along with me and follow along as we go down through here, I won't show you all of them, but you will see all of these price reductions, guys, and look at how much they have taken off these houses to get them sold, and it just goes on and on and on. In fact, there are only a handful of houses that sold for exactly what they were listed for, and even more impressive than that, there were only a handful of houses that they had price increases on. Okay, so there you go. It is a real thing. Builders are slashing prices to make home sales. And it's not only Lennar. I'm not picking on Lennar specifically, but they were in the news. So I thought I would bring you guys what I had found. So real quick, let's talk about interest rates, because that has been the driver of a lot of home sales, probably on the new construction side, not so much on the existing, but a little bit. But as you can see here, we have taken a pretty good decrease in interest rates over the last several months. We've gone down here a good bit. And if I can get this to work, I'll show you. But apparently that's not going to work. But if we take a look at where we were, like in June, right through here, we've seen a pretty good decrease going on in interest rates. But over the last few weeks, they have come up a little bit. The lowest we did end up reaching over the most recent days was 6.13%. Now, this is from Mortgage News Daily. This is for people that are applying for mortgages, putting 20% down that have good credit. But we have seen a little bit of a tick up going on here. And as you can see, we are sitting at 6.36% today on a 30-year fix. So I just wanted to share that with you. But let's shift gears here and talk about what is actually happening here in the Charlotte real estate market specifically. So as we have mentioned, new listings have actually decreased. Some of this could be seasonality, of course, but we are seeing less houses come on the market than we were just a few months ago. And as you can see over here, we can take a look at where we are right now. The decreases that are coming in from the new listings sit minus 3.5%. But when we look over here for the last several months, you can see the ramp up of inventory as we have gone through these last several months. We got 17% increase, 13%, 14%, and then we've started here to kind of drift on the downward side. So let's go over here now and take a look at the average sales price on new homes, not new homes, but all homes in Charlotte. The average sales price in Charlotte currently sits at 515,000, and that is actually still up 3.6% year over year. And you know me, I don't really care for the average sales price as much as I do care for the median sales price, because that's more of a true representation of kind of where we sit. So the median sales price across Charlotte is 440,000. Now, if you do remember in the article that I just talked to you about, over the national news has a median sales price of 442,000, I believe it was. But as for Charlotte specifically, that is still up 1.3% year over year. So let's go over here and talk about the days on the market, because this one here is really important. As more houses sit on the market, the longer it's going to take to sell those, even though we're seeing a little bit of a decrease in inventory. So days on market in the Charlotte area currently sits at 48 days on the market. That's an increase of 37% from a year ago. So just go back to the prior year, right? So we're at 48 right now. The prior year, look at how low the days on the market here was, right? So we're starting to see that ramp up here in days on the market, which leads us to how much are actual sellers getting for their properties. And this is what this one is. Nope, that's the wrong slide. So I guess we'll talk about that one anyway. So, but to go back to what I was going to show you, the average house right now is getting a little over 95% of their asking price. So to make it simple, if you're going to list your house for $100,000, you can expect to get $95,000 or 95% of what you listed it for. But months of supply in Charlotte, not really ticking up a whole lot. We're sitting right now at 2.8 months of supply, up 40%, of course, from a year ago. But we're not seeing that ramp up where we would like to see more and more. But that's where we sit at the moment. So anyway, guys, I hope that what I shared with you today was helpful. If you like this kind of content, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I have been gone a little bit for a while. My plan is to get back here and do more content like this for you. I have taken a little bit of a break, but getting back into the groove. So with that said, guys, if you need my help in your home search, please reach out to me. You can scan that QR code, hop on my calendar, talk about your time frame, your situation, and I can best help you with whatever questions you have or any specific areas or whatever your situation is. So also my phone number there in the link in the description below is also a link to my calendar. Again, if I can help you in any way, please reach out. I would love to hear what your situation is. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you watching this video. And as always, make it a great day.